Hello and welcome to Home Capital's series on home ownership. Buying your first house can be a daunting task, and in this series, we will simplify the entire process for you. While credit score is the first factor which a bank will look at to assess your home loan eligibility, the next one they would look at is your capacity to service a loan. Now, the capacity to service your loan is determined by what we've already seen before, which is your fixed obligation to income ratio. Now, this is nothing but a sum of your EMIs divided by your take home. Now, if we continue with our example of Mr. and Mrs. Sharma, they go ahead for a home loan to a financial institution who says that we are comfortable with an FOIR of 55%. What is the amount of loan do you think they would be eligible with? So in their case, they had a take home of 1 lakh. So a FOIR of 55% means that the bank is comfortable with them servicing EMIs equivalent to a total of INR 55,000. But you see, they already have a car loan of INR 10,000 and they are left with INR 45,000 which they can use towards servicing their home loans. So the FOIR ratio basically tells your capacity to repay a home loan, capacity to repay the EMI of the home loan, and in this case we arrive at an amount of 45,000 because the couple already has a car loan outstanding of for which they are paying a EMI of 10,000. Once you've arrived at this amount of INR 45,000, which is the surplus available for you to service the EMI of the home loan which you propose to take, the next step is to calculate at what is the amount of loan that you can take based on your ability to service an EMI of 45,000 rupees each month. If you were to do a computation at today's rate of 7% home loan for a period of 25 years, you get an EMI of INR 700 rupees per 1 lakh of loan that you take. So if you were to do this working, you will arrive at the fact that you are eligible for a home loan of 64.28 lakhs. How this working is done is pretty straightforward. It is 45,000 multiplied by 1 lakh divided by 700. This gives you a home loan eligibility of 64.28 lakhs at the prevailing interest rate of 7% for a tenure of 25 years. What this basically means is that the couple today can take a home loan of 64.28 lakhs, which will require them to service the loan in the form of EMI payments of INR 45,000 per month for the next 25 years. And given their current income levels and the accepted FOIR ratio of 55%, this is the amount of loan they can service, and this is the amount which the banks would be comfortable lending to them. Now, once you know the kind of loan they are eligible for, the next step is to arrive at what is the value of the house that you can afford based on the loan a bank is ready to give you. This again is a very simple calculation, and this is where our ratio of LTV, that is loan to value, comes into picture. That if a bank is ready to fund 80% of your home loan and the amount of loan that you are eligible for is 64.28 lakhs, that means you can target to buy a house which is worth 80.35 lakhs. How we arrive at this is again 64.28 lakhs divided by 80%. That gives you the value of the home. So what Mr. and Mrs. Sharma are going to do in this case is they are going to set a budget of 80.35 lakhs for their for the home, of which 80% is going to be funded by the bank and the balance they would need to fund from their pocket. Now, one important thing you need to keep in mind here is this does not end your assessment in terms of the home loan you're eligible for. The third factor which the bank will look at is your collateral that you offer against the home loan, right? Obviously, the collateral that you're going to offer is the home that you're purchasing, and that is the first home that you're purchasing for yourself. How the banks assess your collateral is they're going to look at both your income, that is as per our FOIR calculations, as well as the value of your property. Now, how does this work? Let's take the example. In our case, where we were discussing if Mr. and Mrs. Sharma they were looking to buy a house whose value is 80.35 lakhs. If for the sake of discussion they were eligible for a much higher loan of 1 crore, how much loan do you think the bank is going to give them? The bank is going to give them a loan equal to 80% of the value of the house, that is only 64.28 lakhs. Although they were eligible for a higher loan based on their income, the value of loan they will get is constrained by the value of the collateral they are offering, in this case the value of the house. So 80.35 lakhs is the value of the house, but the amount of loan they are eligible for is only 80% of that, which gives them 64.28 lakhs. If instead, again for the sake of discussion, they decide to go ahead and look for a value of a house which is 90 lakhs, but for whatever reasons they have a lower income and their loan eligibility was only 60 lakhs, although the value of the house is higher, here the amount of loan which the bank is going to give you is going to be constrained by your home loan eligibility, which is arrived at by using your FOIR calculations. So to sum up this, banks are extremely safe in giving out loans, and the bank would give out a loan which is equal to the value of 80% of the collateral that you offer, or what is your eligibility of the loan as per your FOIR calculations, whichever is lower. So what you're going to be eligible for is going to be the lower of these two. By considering these three factors, the bank is able to arrive at what is the home loan you're eligible for. So in our 4-step process, wherein we started with computing the net worth and moving on to the monthly budget, and then arrived at the home loan eligibility for you when you're looking out for your first house, the final step in this process is arriving at your surplus reserve available. Computing your surplus reserve is pretty important here, because when you decide to buy a house, the kind of payments you would expect to make is, you would be expected to make 10% of the down payment when you book a particular house. Since you are going to take a home loan to fund this house, 80% of the value of the home is going to be funded by the home loan, and eventually when you get possession of the house, you would be expected to pay the balance 10% of the home you are buying. Now, in addition to the value of the house, there are additional expenses that you would incur, which are related to taxes and registration costs. Now, what you need to understand here is these are over and above the cost which you're paying for the value of the house that you determined you can afford. So that is why it is important in step 4 to look at the surplus reserve that you have available with you. Now, what are some of the costs associated with buying a house over and above the value of the house? The first one is GST. You would be expected to pay an amount equal to 5% of the value of the property as GST if you're buying a property which is under construction. After GST comes the registration cost, which is a fixed amount of INR 30,000, or it can vary between 1 to 2% of the value of property, whichever is lower. This again is decided based on the state in which you register the property. The next tax cost associated with buying a house is the stamp duty cost, which again can vary between 2 to 6% of the value of the property depending on the state in which you plan to register the property. The next cost associated with the house is TDS, which is tax deducted at source. Although this does not add to the cost of the house for you, but this is an additional compliance you need to do as the buyer of the property. We'll discuss about this more in our next episode. If we were to sum up the final budget for the example we took of Mr. and Mrs. Sharma, they have a total monthly income of INR 1 lakh and they arrived at a home budget of INR 80.35 lakhs, which was based on their ability to service an EMI of INR 45,000 rupees each month. The down payment they would be expected to pay is 8.035 lakhs. What they do is, once they have their budget in place, they go to the website of Home Capital, do a search for the various properties listed on their website, and shortlist a house based in Thane, which is suburbs of Mumbai, with an area of 427 square feet. So the most important factor that you need to determine when you set your eyes on buying the first house is setting a budget for the house. Because when you have a budget, you know exactly the kind of properties you need to look for. It because it's not easy going through this process of buying a house. You need to consider a number of factors which we'll discuss in subsequent episodes, and it is time consuming. But if you go ahead with a set budget which you can afford based on your finances, that helps you narrow down the properties which are within your range and select the properties which fit your requirements. It makes the process much more smoother for you and much more fruitful. Now that you have a budget of 80.35 lakhs to work with, let's go ahead and understand some of the tax benefits that are available to you, which will help you reduce your overall cost of owning this first house that you've gone ahead and bought. The Home Capital community assists and guides you successfully through your journey of home ownership. Join India's first community of home buyers and homeowners and take your next step towards home ownership.